Take, where I will be asking Tim questions from you guys, the audience. Let's get right into it. How to build the best relationship with sales.
It's probably most important that the legal team recognizes that there are relatively few things that are strictly legal calls. Legal teams are there to help, not necessarily there to be a traffic cop. Granted, some legal teams do play that role, and there are organizations where that's the way that things have been structured. Personally, I think one of two things has happened at those organizations. Either A, that organization got really, really big, and there are sets of controls that you need at a certain size. But when you see something like that early on, there's often a misalignment between the legal leadership and the leadership of that revenue generating, like revenue based team, whether it's sales, whether it's marketing, whatever. I don't think many revenue leaders are like, oh, I really want legal to be my traffic cop, right? They'd rather have a conversation and say, help me to understand why points A, B, C, D, and E are challenging for legal to accept. What problems does that present to the organization? I think there's an element where legal teams need to educate their business partners on the perspective of the legal team and why, for example, a restriction on assignment might be a problem, right? As soon as you tell, especially in an early stage company, well, we don't want to have, assignment requires consent, because what if we want to do a strategic transaction, with the entire company, and now we have a $50,000 deal that's going to hold up a multi-hundred million or multi-billion dollar transaction? Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And so as soon as you can get that relationship and help educate, it becomes very clear to people why, okay, well, yeah, it makes sense. So let's just tell the salespeople that we can't have this, and you use the salespeople as a tool to help with the negotiation, right? But when you think about building that relationship, let's say your first order of business is to have the right culture within your legal team, where the legal team is there to serve and support those other teams. And it's not just revenue, it's the same thing with product, same thing with finances, with really the entire organization. You're just a support function, just as much as any other of the support functions are. And you have to recognize that role is really important, but it's not the point of the business, right? So sometimes there are going to be things that the legal team is just going to have to get comfortable with.
Thanks for listening, and send in your questions to cockpitcounsel@linksquares.com.